every direction I look at, there are insane stories flying around social media or even regular news. My friend actually showed me this link. This is Boeing. They are going through some hard times recently. One of their planes literally lost their door mid-flight and they couldn't find it, and they finally found it recently. Here it is. It literally doesn't have, look, everyone's there like chilling, it's freezing, and it has no door. Oh, look, we found it. This is a great one. Somebody literally thought the sky was falling like Chicken Little, but no, it was just their airplane. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to look like that. But today we're actually going to be looking at this story. This is the link my friend sent me. 62-year-old Boeing whistleblower John Barnett found in his truck after he didn't show up for a legal interview linked to a case against Boeing. This is a really, really interesting story. I want to take a look at the video.
One, this is not a 737 problem. It's a Boeing problem. And I know the FAA's gone in and they've done due diligence and inspections to assure that the door plugs of the 737 are installed properly and the fasteners are torqued properly. But my concern is, what's the rest of the airplane? What's the rest of the condition of the airplane? And the reason my concern for that is back in 2012, Boeing started removing inspection operations off their jobs. So it left the mechanics to buy off their own work.
So, gonna be totally honest, no idea what that means. My best inference is that they mean that the mechanics aren't being inspected as much and they have to kind of do their own management of quality checking and things like that, which is supposed to be done by like third parties or management. They're supposed to like control the quality of their subordinates, which is just not happening at all. Which I guess is okay if you have really solid individual mechanics. But I mean, how are you going to have 100% success rate with that? You're not. You're going to have a couple of crappy mechanics that are going to be cutting corners and things like that. And the quality is definitely going to average down. But I mean, that's just like my best guess.
So what we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection steps being removed, issues being ignored. My concerns are with the 737 and the 787, because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added. So those two programs have really put a strong effort into removing quality from the process.
Imagine you're in charge of making money in a company and you initiate programs, and the whole initiative of those programs is to remove quality from the product that you're giving to the people.
Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that.
Incredible balls from Boeing. Just the nerve.
They got you by the balls.
When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. And what that meant was I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me that we had found too many defects, and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no. Said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section, and they were kicked off the airplane.
He went and did the inspection. He's probably one of the elite tier engineers of this company. He found 300 plus issues. But when his boss decided to replace him, he goes out, limited time, only 2 hours to inspect, comes back with only 50 issues. When he double checks with this lady connected to the issues, she says that no, there's no way they could have fixed all the problems that were discovered in that little time period. They cut all these corners, and management is giving them accolades for only finding 50 issues. Either this is blatant ignorance, or just greed at its most disgusting level. Oh, okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Boeing whistleblower John Barnett, who raised alarm over plane quality, is found deceased. Police in Charleston, South Carolina are investigating the death of John Barnett and a former Boeing quality control manager who became a whistleblower when he went public with his concerns about serious safety issues in the company's commercial airplanes. Barnett's body was found in a vehicle in a Holiday Inn parking lot in Charleston on Saturday, police said. One day earlier, he testified in a deposition about the string of problems he says he identified at Boeing's plant. Okay, this is connected to what he said in that video, but listen, he was found in a Holiday Inn parking lot in his car a day after he testified at the deposition. I don't know how much more blatant this could be. This might as well be an episode of Criminal Minds. What are we watching? Yo, if Boeing didn't do this, I want to know who did, because nothing else would make sense. Nothing else in this stupid fictional story would make sense. And this is better than like anything I've ever watched on television. Police said officers were sent to the hotel to conduct a welfare check after people were unable to contact Barnett, who had traveled to Charleston to testify in his lawsuit against Boeing. Upon their arrival, officers discovered a male inside a vehicle suffering from a gunshot wound to the head. Police said in a statement sent to NPR he was pronounced deceased at the scene. The officer of Charleston, Texas, Barnett was living in the home state of Louisiana. Boeing died from what appears to be a self-inflicted wound. What? I bet you the company's taking it personally. As a quality manager at Boeing, you're the last line of defense before a defect makes it out to the flying public. Barnett told the newspaper, and I haven't seen a plane out of Charleston yet that I put my name on saying it's safe and airworthy. That is the statement that probably did it, sealed his coffin. Whistleblower complained against Boeing, saying that his attempts to raise quality and safety problems have been ignored and that he was punished for continuing to flag them. So he's just raising all the wrong flags right now. He's literally giving the company every reason to silence him. Charleston police said detectives are actively investigating the case and are awaiting a formal cause of death as they are trying to determine the circumstances surrounding Barnett's death. We are saddened by Mr. Barnett's passing and our thoughts are with his friends and family, Boeing said in a statement sent after MBR. They said that as they were signing somebody's check. I'm telling you, this was a hit job. We're living in a 007 movie. Oh man, and here's their cover up right here. He was suffering from PTSD and anxiety attacks as a result of being subjected to the hostile work environment at Boeing, which we believe led to his death. I mean, if that's the case, they're literally admitting that their environment was so hostile that he suffered life-altering PTSD and anxiety attacks. Rest in peace, John Barnett. I think greed took your life a little too early. I would have loved to have seen this go all the way through to the end for him to commit to the finishing of this story. What a movie it could have been. That is all I got for this one. I appreciate you watching to this point. Please drop a like, hit the follow button in the noties. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I would love to see you in the next one.